Before the prophets of the Old Testament spoke of sin and salvation, before the Greek philosophers spoke of logic and virtue, before Buddha left his palace in search of truth, there was Zarathustra. He walked the lands of ancient Persia thousands of years ago, in a time so distant we can only guess the exact dates. Some say it was 1000 BCE, others place him even earlier. But one thing is certain, Zarathustra's ideas would leave a permanent mark on the moral foundations of the world. His name may not echo as loudly today as Plato or Confucius, but his message, the eternal battle between good and evil, shaped empires, religions, and the very way we understand morality. Imagine a world still caught between myth and awakening reason. The sun, the moon, the stars were gods to be feared. Rituals ruled everyday life. People prayed not out of love, but out of terror, sacrificing animals to please unpredictable spirits. Into this chaos walked Zarathustra, a thinker, a seeker, a man who dared to ask, what if the universe isn't ruled by chaos, but by choice? What if humans aren't merely puppets of fate, but responsible agents of moral power? This question became the beating heart of his philosophy. Zarathustra taught that the universe is not random. It is not senseless or cruel. It is divided. On one side, there is good, truth, light, order, and life. On the other, there is evil, lies, darkness, chaos, and death. He called the force of good Ahura Mazda, the wise lord, and the force of evil Angra Mainyu, the destructive spirit. These weren't just gods in the sky. They were principles woven into the fabric of existence itself. Every sunrise, every storm, every heartbeat was part of this cosmic tension between two forces. But here's where Zarathustra changed the game. He didn't say humans were slaves to either side. He didn't preach blind devotion or ritual sacrifice. He said the most radical thing anyone could say in that time: you have a choice. You, the individual, have the power to choose good over evil. You are not a toy in the hands of fate. You are a warrior in the battlefield of morality. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, they tilt the scales. Every day, in every moment, you are helping either truth or the lie win. That's the soul of Zarathustra's message. He didn't want to create a religion of fear. He wanted to awaken inner responsibility. The fire he worshipped was not a god to be bribed, it was a symbol of light, truth, and purity. That's why fire temples in Zoroastrian tradition are kept burning. It represents the inner flame of good, the moral conscience that never dies. Zarathustra's ethics were simple but powerful. He believed in three core principles: good thoughts, good words, good deeds. That's it. 3 tools, 3 weapons in the war against evil. Think truthfully. Speak kindly. Act justly. Sounds easy, right? But how often do we really live by that? He didn't just want philosophers or priests. He wanted farmers, shepherds, rulers, and merchants to understand this. The battlefield wasn't some far-off mystical realm. It was here, in the heart of every human. Evil wasn't a demon hiding in the dark, it was the temptation to lie, to harm, to cheat, to take what isn't yours. And good wasn't some abstract perfection, it was courage, honesty, compassion, and responsibility. This philosophy wasn't just personal, it was social. Zarathustra dreamed of a just society. A world where rulers governed not by fear, but by wisdom. Where the strong protected the weak. Where wealth wasn't hoarded, but shared fairly. Where education and morality walked hand in hand. He was a prophet, yes, but more than that, he was a moral revolutionary. And his influence? Massive. Though his own writings, the Gathas, were poetic and cryptic, his ideas spread through Persia and far beyond. The mighty Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great and Darius the Great embraced Zoroastrian values. They ruled with a sense of justice rarely seen in ancient times, banning slavery, promoting religious tolerance, and encouraging ethical governance. The idea that kings should rule by moral order, not just military might, was deeply Zoroastrian. Even after Persia fell to other empires, the echo of Zarathustra's words lived on. Many scholars believe that his ideas helped shape the development of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Concepts like heaven and hell, Judgment Day, angels, the soul's journey, and the final triumph of good, all of these, some argue, trace their roots to Zoroastrian thought. But Zarathustra wasn't trying to build dogma. He wasn't interested in building an empire of rules. He wanted people to live consciously, to understand that life is a test of choices, that the mind is a sacred battlefield, that every lie strengthens darkness, and every truth lights a candle. What makes his message so powerful even today is its clarity. In a world still torn by greed, corruption, and cruelty, Zarathustra whispers across the centuries, you are not helpless. You are not meaningless. Your choices matter. Think about the world we live in now, full of distractions, manipulations, half-truths. It's easy to become numb, to go with the flow, to say, what can I do? I'm just one person. But Zarathustra would look you in the eye and say, you are the battlefield. Do not give up your sword. In a modern world of moral confusion, where truth is often blurred, his message is more relevant than ever. The idea that we have to pick a side, not politically, not tribally, but ethically, is the eternal choice he laid before us. You can serve truth, or you can serve the lie. There's no in-between. He believed the soul remembers every choice. That after death, we all face a bridge called the Chinvat Bridge, a narrow passage where our deeds are weighed. If your life was filled with good, you pass safely into the world of light. If not, you fall into darkness. Again, it wasn't punishment, it was natural consequence. A moral law built into the structure of the cosmos. But don't mistake this for fear-based religion. Zarathustra was incredibly life-affirming. He saw the world as a gift, nature as sacred, work as noble, relationships as holy. He encouraged people to marry, to work hard, to enjoy life, but always with awareness, always with responsibility. He didn't ask you to run from life. He asked you to live it with honor. That's what separates him from many religious founders. Zarathustra didn't promise rewards in return for rituals. He called people to be active moral participants in the fate of the world. He saw human beings not as sinners by birth, but as moral beings capable of greatness. In his teachings, the most sacred act wasn't prayer, it was action. And perhaps that's what makes him timeless. Even though modern Zoroastrianism is a small community today, his ideas have quietly shaped billions. The idea that good will ultimately triumph over evil, that each of us has a role in that outcome, that truth, kindness, and justice are not just ideals but duties, these beliefs are embedded in global consciousness now, even if most people don't know where they came from. Zarathustra's words are not flashy. He didn't offer miracles. He didn't rule an empire. But what he gave was a torch, a small, steady flame of wisdom. And that flame still burns, if you're willing to see it. If he stood before us today, in a world of digital noise and moral fog, I imagine he would say something like this. Don't fear the darkness outside, fear the lies within. Light your mind with good thoughts. Speak only what uplifts. Let your hands do what helps. That is your power. That is your purpose. And maybe, just maybe, if we followed that simple path, not perfectly, but honestly, we might tilt the balance of this world toward the light. Zarathustra may have walked in ancient dust, but his voice still calls through time. It calls to you. Choose wisely.